Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, Sonic 3 back again for another video for you guys. And today, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your WWE Backlash 2023 predictions. Yep, we are finally coming here from a long time. Well, I don't know how long it's, exact years per se, because I'm not gonna, I should have actually calculated that before I actually come on camera, to be honest, or rather, might, to be honest, rather, obviously enough. But it's been since 2005 since WWE has gone to the land of Puerto Rico for a premium live event or pay-per-view event, obviously enough. So huzzah. They're finally there for the sake of state. We are finally, in the vast, beautiful islands of Puerto Rico, if you want to say it like that, for a premium live event after some period of time for none other than Backlash, obviously enough. And so, after all that blobbiness about Puerto Rico, we are here currently for this video at the current time of recording here from 18 hours, 12 minutes, and 12 seconds, ironically enough, for the pay-per-view event for Backlash 2023. Obviously enough. So, with that said, we're not going to wait, and we're going to get this thing started for none other than the following matchup, as we have Seth Rollins taking on Omos. And my prediction for this match is going to be for the fact that Omos, as much as I'm going to say it, is most likely enough going to win this match, because obviously enough, it makes much more reasonable sense why he's going to win this match. Particularly looking at this match, particularly as a means of saying who is, in fact, is going to win this match is going to go on to Night Champions and potentially face Roman Reigns there at Night Champions as we go from Puerto Rico, mind you, over to Saudi Arabia. So good. What a good hopping over the fence for that sake for going from one event to the next. But seriously though, Omos, like I said, going back to the point I had here, makes more sense of us. Sadly enough, I'm saying that went to win this match to go towards that match against Roman to serve the fact towards the Saudi audience, obviously to give them such a big showdown to right, quite literally between Roman Reigns himself being, rather, just being there in general versus literally the so-called Titanic giant known as freaking Omos being there right in front of him, in front of them, and from there at the crowd of Saudi Arabia, while also being in front of the big dog, the head of the table, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns, obviously enough, blah. But still, but it makes more sense of that because most likely, and obviously enough, this is because this is overall heading out of a post-draft spectacle we just had recently on programming between Raw and SmackDown as of late. And Omos is a free agent, so that means obviously he can go from Raw to SmackDown anytime he wants. So that clearly gives free game for Omos to go over to SmackDown to go challenge Roman to go towards freaking Night Champions, obviously enough. I don't know what the freak I was going to say there. While Seth, on the other hand, mind you, after that minor botch as I was supposed to do there, sadly enough, but Rollins, on the other hand, was drafted to Raw, so that makes little to no sense of reason why Rollins would go after Roman, even though a lot of people have said has been speculating that you're kind of wanting this secondary matchup between Rollins and Roman for the title for whatever reason. But I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, if it's gonna be a match that's gonna be well worth it, which I'm pretty sure it will be, both feud wise and match wise. So I mean, no disregarding them there, because obviously I know they can go. Because hell, I fucking was there live the last time they went down at Royal Rumble, obviously enough. So I can definitely see them going down. Actually, throw it down. There's no dispute there. But obviously enough, play for lack thereof trying to put logic into this, and this is probably going to be stressed again throughout this whole entire prediction. So settle in, guys. Trying to make sense heading out of the draft and going towards into the show and heading out of the show, heading on to Night Champions. It makes no, like as I was trying to say before, it makes no sense as to why Rollins will go after Roman, since obviously Roman's on SmackDown, and Seth is now officially on Raw. So there's that. But obviously enough, Seth Rollins won't be. Sure, we'll be taking the Titanic loss, sadly enough, here for Omos. But he, at the end of the day, will in fact get a win at the end of the day because most likely, if not enough, he will most likely go on to at least the finals, if not win the whole outright thing out of, to go towards this tournament that we're going to be having starting, Raw right after the show for the supposed World Heavyweight Championship that we're going to be having to be declared at Night of Champions. So there is that. So at the end of the day, Rollins once again might take the L here against Omos, but he will in fact in the end get the win and overall potentially and most likely winning the World Heavyweight Championship at Night Champions to say the very least. So said, Omos, unfortunately as I'm saying it, for the win. Moving on next though, we have the following. We have Austin Theory taking on the likes of Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed in a United States Championship Triple Threat match. My prediction for this match is going to be, as much as I know Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed are going to be thrown down to the ring, I could definitely see Austin Theory in fact winning this match, disregarding the whole draft, the draft drama, and whoever the hell he ends up, whether it's because Raw or SmackDown get two secondary champions, if it comes down to that, because obviously on the top of my head I do not recall where Austin Theory has ended up. I'm pretty sure Austin Theory ended up on SmackDown and Gunther and Imperium ended up on Raw, but do not quote me on that. But I am quite certain that's what happened in the draft, but again, don't quote me on that. So at the end of the day, it kind of makes so me just saying that if that actually is in factual, true, then that doesn't even mean anything because obviously each show has their quote unquote secondary championship. So at the end of the day, what I just said kind of makes no sense. So blah. But disregarding all of that, mind you, so like I said, disregarding all draft drama, mind you, I can definitely see the likes. I can definitely see Austin Theory win this match because it means obviously, like I said, Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley will most likely be the ones to throw again one another, and Austin Theory may be the one to quote unquote obviously take the sleeping pills and sleep outside the ring most likely in this match to suddenly wake up last minute to take the final win and kind of take the final to get the final finisher at the end of the win of here, or if that's even comes down to that, we may see a finisher happen between the likes of either Lashley on Reed or Reed on Lashley, and Theory come sneaking right on in and kind of weaseling in to get a win, and obviously walk away of this match as champion still once again heading towards SmackDown, going off my supposed theory enough as Theory was drafted to SmackDown. So Theory can, weasel his way out of this match and retain his championship as it brings it over to SmackDown, obviously enough, heading out of the show. So with this said, while but bear in mind though, if some chance Reed or Lashley somehow do come out with the win in this match, I wouldn't actually mind seeing either men win the championship for their respective reasons, because obviously that gives them reason to obviously push themselves forward no matter what brand they ended up, once again, disregarding all draft messy mumbo jumbo, obviously enough. Regardless of where they actually end up or where they officially have ended up by the end of the show, once again, they can take the championships by their own and obviously have a means of having, a way of pushing themselves forward to actually have some sort of way of direction heading forward of, this show. Obviously enough. So once again, guys, while I wouldn't mind seeing Lashley there's no and. There's gotta be one winner at the end of this day, guys. I don't know why I was going to say that, but no matter if it was Lashley or Reed, I wouldn't mind seeing one of those two win this match. But I feel as if Theory will in fact win this match cleanly or sneakily, most likely sneakily, I'm most likely heading to the show, predictably wise, sneakily to win the match here overall and retain the championship heading out of Backlash 2023. So we said Austin Theory for the win. So, heading out of this match, we have the following matchup, which we have Bianca Belair taking on Io Sky. My prediction for this match is for the fact of keeping a safe bet prediction. I'm going to say that my prediction is going to be for Bianca Belair to win this match, even though she is in fact a SmackDown superstar. At the end of the day, now heading out of the draft and for the show. She is, in fact, a SmackDown superstar, but she is the Raw Women's Champion. So take that what you will, and obviously, whatever that is going to happen at the end of the day, it's going to happen at the end of the day. But but for some reason, and while I would want to see this kind of somehow make sense and somehow happen, because all I know of I've been hearing whistles and been going with the flow of listening to things as of late of how Io Sky could win this match and perfectly assume of ways of obviously take the championship and potentially go to Raw and have a clean way of actually getting the championship off of Bianca Belair, and actually have a better reason for this to take the championship off of Bianca Belair versus obviously saying Raw, versus having Bianca Belair and potentially Rhea Ripley against trade championships, because at the end of the day that would just be downright stupid and just plainly awful, to be honest, because obviously Bianca Belair has obviously made her championship historic run as of late with said championship, so it makes very much more sense of her actually just cleanly losing it, just flat out clean, just calling it quits at the end of the day, just calling it a storybook in, versus obviously, just trading championships at the end of the day with Rhea Ripley just for stupid bullshitty reasons because of the draft at the end of the day. So there's that. Well, also, Io Sky still also have the likes of both Dakota Kai and Bayley going to be potentially at ringside with her, so she could get some help at the end of the day, actually getting some assistance, actually getting the win against Belair here. So there's that as well, mind you. But as I said before, if there is just some way we could potentially, if there's some way if this can happen, if Bianca Belair can still win this match and still we can somehow get a ways of having both Bianca Belair take on Rhea Ripley and somehow, some way, find a way to finally get these two in a match together and merge the championships no matter who the fuck wins it. Whether it's Rhea, whether it's Bianca Belair. At the end of the line, that's to be seen when it comes to actually seeing it narratively and the feud build up then and there if it potentially could and would happen. But obviously enough, it just makes sense to obviously, merge the championships and just have one sole champion instead of just having, just stupid, once again, this messy, just unscripted, just nonsensical bullshit of how, we have a Bianca Belair going to SmackDown being the Raw champion while Rhea's going over to Raw as the SmackDown champion. It just makes no sense. Yes, once again, the clear-cut way of and most logical say is, oh, we're just going to make them switch championships and we're just not going to question it. That's just dumb. Once again, guys, that's just dumb and just illogical, guys. That's just ridiculous at the end of the day. It's just, no one wants to see that at the end of the day. Just no one wants to see that. So, hopefully we can somehow blend some sense out of this stuff, even though, once again, the draft at the end of the day has been once again kind of messy and just messy, obviously enough, no matter what you look at it, for obvious reasons. And once again, we tried to make some sense out of this mess that we got out of the draft, seeing as it likes obviously like this. But obviously enough, no matter what's going to happen in the day, I can definitely see Io Sky win for a variety of reasons and for various reasons, obviously enough. But Bianca Belair is in fact going to be my prediction, just to have a safe bet prediction. But for some whatever reason, whether it's Io Sky winning it by some chance and still getting and essentially still making that merging championship dream come true between a match between her and Rhea Ripley at the end of the line, then fine, that can happen. Or if Bianca wins and she goes on, or eventually goes on to face Rhea, they have a championship match to merge the championships, then fine. We'll just have to see, and that's just then. We just gotta see then what happens and how we get there. But at the point at hand, with dealing with the cards we have right now, what we're looking at right now for this card, once and for all, once again, I'm going to say that Bianca Belair is in fact my prediction, my safe prediction to win this match. But once again, I can see Io Sky win this for a variety of reasons, obviously enough to get out of this mess and finally get onto the show once and for all, as we're supposedly seeing a brand split between both Raw and SmackDown, potentially forking off their road and potentially going two separate directions, obviously enough. So, once again, Bianca Belair for the win. It's my prediction at the end of the day. So instead, we're going to move on to the next match, which is going to be none other than the team of Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Matt Riddle taking on the team of the Usos and Solo Sikoa representing the Bloodline, obviously enough. So, my prediction for this match is going to be for none other than the Good Guys to win this match and Sami, Kevin, and Riddle to win this match. Because obviously enough, not only does this clearly give a good, clean-cut way of getting the faces to win this match while not making the heels look bad at the end of the day, while still them having to take the L, it does not make them look bad because obviously enough, at the end of the day, they're still the Bloodline, they're still, legitimate, obviously enough. And hence my other point was going back up, just backing my point as I'm saying just by the gist right now, is the fact that the lose here that they're going to take or potentially will take here against between Little, blah, I can't freaking Riddle's making me a freaking riddle in my freaking tongue. Riddle, Zayn, and Owens taking the lose against them obviously will give the Bloodline storyline much more merit as potentially as we've already seen the sprinkling of the Easter eggs enough, seeing the likes of the rumbling of crumbles and cracks being built and actually showing signs of downfall of the Bloodline once and for all at the hands of the Usos since them losing the championships at WrestleMania against Zayn and Owens. Since obviously enough we haven't seen Roman communicating towards the Usos in any sort of fashion at all. It's just been the hands of obviously between both Heyman and Solo here and there, just kind of still having the way of warming in the way to say, oh yeah, you're still in the Bloodline, we still respect you and blah blah blah, even though they're kind of just giving them the side eye, blah 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 blah. Hell, even the biggest fact alone is the fact of what happened in a promo that happened most recently with Heyman in the ring behind it, backing up the Usos, saying the likes of saying oh, Kevin and Sami, our tribal chief is tired of you. But when he says that, he's saying that addressing towards Owens and Zayn, but he says that while looking dead ass toward Uso, obviously 1 and 2, Fink 1 and 2, Uso 1 and 2, between Jimmy and Jay, whilst literally looking towards those two, while the Usos were actually having paying no mind, actually no recollection of actually that happening behind their backs, with Heyman doing so, obviously enough. So we could definitely see some, in fact, heading towards that direction, and actually helping that fact of having it going that direction towards the Usos finally getting the axe finally cut underneath of them, actually getting the final boot out of the Bloodline. Whether it's in the future, setting up towards the future, actually eventually happening, eventually enough, or if it's somehow, some way can actually happen here enough with Jimmy and Jay taking the Solo Spike and the Samoan Rage of Solo Sikoa once and for all to have their younger brother taking out the other two overall to finally wipe them clean and out of the Bloodline's hands once and for all, to have it be just simply Roman, Solo, and Heyman ruling the reins of the Bloodline, keeping the Usos at bay to potentially be the ones to legitimately come up from the behind and potentially be the ones to actually result in the ultimate downfall a Roman's championship empire once and for all. So there is that to potentially happen. It makes sense now I put it into it and project it. Now does it, guys? Does it? But still, overall, guys, my prediction heading out of this match is going to be for the Good Guys to win in Sammy, Kevin, and Matt Riddle. For what they said, them for the win. Obviously enough. That's kind of weird for me saying like that, but still. Sammy, Matt Riddle, and Kevin Owens for the win. So now, moving on from this, we have the following matchup. We have Rhea Ripley taking on Zelina Vega for the SmackDown Women's Championship. My prediction, simply enough, once again, for this match is going to be for Rhea Ripley to win this match because, obviously enough, while she's, once again, the SmackDown Women's Champion, she is, in fact, a Raw superstar heading into this match representing SmackDown by whatever reason. Once again, draft being a mess that it is, we're just going to have to accept what it is, but blah. So, obviously enough, Rhea Ripley going into this match as a Raw representative while holding the SmackDown Women's Championship overall. Obviously enough, seems to me that obviously she just won the championship at WrestleMania, and it just seems like absolutely dead ass way too short for the losing championship here for, just for a second for losing the championship, because obviously she deserves and she should in fact hold that championship for a while, if not for a long ass time, because she truly deserves it, guys. She truly does. And I'm pretty sure it's a collective majority of the WWE universe, or just everyone else in general, can testify that as well. Obviously enough that Rhea deserves the championship rub that she deserves. Obviously enough. So there's that. But obviously enough, this match overall, no matter what you look at it, at the end of the day, just seems to be a way of just giving Zelina Vega some rub and some spot time to shine well enough to finally actually do so in the limelight against obviously having her supposed hometown field of Puerto Rico, backing behind her absolutely enough to cheer her on as she attempts to take down Rhea Ripley and to take her championship off of her and within her home field, her her own backyard, so to speak. Obviously enough. So there is that. But obviously enough, once again, I just don't see it happening because obviously, once again, it just seems like way too soon to see Rhea Ripley lose the championship here. And hopefully enough, she goes on to potentially go on to either still become a solo, merger women's champion coming in the future, no matter who that's going to be, whether it's Alexa Bianca, or whether it's Io Sky, or it could be someone else we just don't even know currently at the time, being who's going to be currently the champion at that said time. But obviously that's then, this is now, so blah. So, if Rhea Ripley could go on and become a solo merger champion there, or just whoever champion she's going to be, whether she's going to be the Raw champion or SmackDown, whatever. Like I said, draft is a mess, so blah. So Rhea Ripley continuing on being champion on the Raw brand. The Raw brand, guys. The Raw brand. I'm playing. She's gonna be champion on the Raw brand, obviously enough, being their champion well enough. So, she could be going towards that. And obviously enough, well, like I said, no matter if it's, a merge champion or she's just going to be their own champion on Raw, either way, it just seems like it's way too soon for Rhea to lose the championship, obviously enough. And once again, she truly deserved truly a good title run. And like I said, it just seems like way too soon for her to lose this match. So, with that said, Rhea Ripley is going to win this match, in my honest opinion. So, with that said, Rhea Ripley for the win. So, with that said, moving on, we have the following matchup, which is going to be none other than Bad Bunny taking on Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. My prediction, well enough, is going to kind of good enough to kind of mirror off of my last prediction with Zelina Vega taking the L in Puerto Rico here. We're going to have Bad Bunny take the win here in Puerto Rico because, simply enough, he is the hometown, guy who was once going to be the host of the show Backlash. Well enough, obviously enough. So, well enough, you're going to want to have a way to have some positive vibes for the Puerto Rican crowd here in San Juan to be happy to finally see their hometown boy and get the win. So, well enough, that's simply enough reason why Bad Bunny will get the win in this match. Where he hopefully, and he should well enough, pull a good solo run on his own, because obviously enough, he has not had. This is going to be his very first solo match on his own, because well enough, all his matches in the past have been in multi-man matches. So we are going to hopefully see if Bunny and Priest themselves can actually pull the strings for a good quality match in the street fight they're going to perform here for us at Backlash. And hopefully we will see a good match overall, once again, to overall see this all happen, go down well enough here at Backlash. So with it said, once again, while obviously enough, Priest is just going to be in this for the long run, just for sake of fun, having a good paycheck, and actually have a good vacation time in Puerto Rico, as you pretty much have a lot of you may or may not have seen, like a lot of superstars are taking in the sites and the lovely beaches of Puerto Rico. Well enough, he's just there to have a good old vacay time to hopefully take the downfall and take the pin off of Bad Bunny here around Puerto Rico, San Juan's cheering him on as well. So it said, Bad Bunny for the ultimate win. So it said Bad Bunny for the win. So, with that said, moving on to potentially, or I'm pretty sure it is going to be the final match on the card, we have the following, which is going to be Cody Rhodes taking on Brock Lesnar. My prediction for this match is going to be simply enough that while I could in fact see Brock Lesnar win this match for his sake of winning, for obviously, just winning the match and kind of, flatline Cody Rhodes, mind you, I can definitely see a Brock Lesnar win also helping Cody Rhodes in a sense, because obviously enough, as I and a lot of people have pretty much stated countless times before, and well enough that Cody Rhodes heading into his match against Reigns at WrestleMania this year just seems like he had no way of facing adversity, having little to no reason of him really to give a true reason why he should win the championship. So this very reason here could be, well, reason why. If Brock Lesnar just once again pretty much comes in and just conquers the living hell at Rhodes and just once again flat out, flatlines Cody Rhodes in this match, this in fact could in fact show reason of why Cody can obviously maybe take a couple weeks time, maybe a few month or two's time off to go lick his wounds off this match and come back to start his eventual up climbing way of actually coming back to actually going towards a way of actually getting himself back in the limelight, both in the likes of the fans and himself, mind you, to ultimately earn his way up the championship ladder to face off against eventually the likes of going towards Roman Reigns. Once again, hopefully, as of right now, we are pinpointing SummerSlam as his time of going towards a match right here, well enough, where he can in fact come back to qualify enough and potentially win the Money in the Bank ladder match to go towards facing Roman Reigns at SummerSlam well enough this upcoming summer. Well enough, obviously enough. So that very well could in fact happen. But obviously enough, Cody could very well could just win enough and just say, well, I had my time with Roman. I just feel as obviously enough, since Roman's obviously once again on SmackDown and Cody is drafted on Raw, obviously enough, he can say, well, I think my title run might pretty much, my chances have pretty much gone pretty much flat out dead going to Roman. I see that beautiful new shiny freaking new championship on the line here for the Raw brand. I'm going to go for that instead, which for me, and probably a lot of people as well can pretty much conclude this as well, that just does not seem well enough for Cody, because obviously enough, this is kind of freaking sad enough to say enough for the championship, for the new World Heavyweight Championship that we're actually going to be having on, the show, mind you. It seems as if, sadly enough, this seems like that championship is going to be a secondary championship, which, sadly enough, that's sad to say, because obviously enough, it's going to be Raw's main supposed championship, or it's being built as that, because obviously enough, Triple H recently said at the press conference for Backlash, mind you, saying like, oh, we can have our Raw people, we're going to have tournaments on Raw and SmackDown, so we're going to, at the end of the day, at Night of Champions, we're going to have a Raw superstar going against a SmackDown superstar to see who will become a champion, which that dumbass does not make any dumbass fucking sense, because obviously you have Roman being your SmackDown champion, being both the WWE and the Universal Champion, obviously enough on SmackDown. Well enough reason why you're going to have the World Heavyweight Championship be on Raw. you're pretty much telling us once again that you're pretty much explaining it in the most stupidest way possible that whoever the hell is going to be representing Raw is going to be the winner of that match. With most likely, it's going to be 99% chance going to most likely once again, in fact, be Seth Rollins once again. So let's see. So, like I said, we're going to see about that. But like I said, right now, all eyes are on Rollins to potentially be and win the match and become champion. Obviously enough. That's just then. This is now. Obviously enough. But the point I'm making, the point at hand here is that just does not deserve Cody's, time and effort well enough. Because obviously enough, that that really deserves, Rollins can go towards that, and Rollins can go have that championship, have his spotlight shine, being the World Heavyweight Champion, actually representing Raw, being that said champion. Rollins, on the other hand, in fact, story has pretty much been penciled in down to the narrow point, being now he has to be the one to go and be the one to beat Roman Reigns at the end of the day and potentially be traded over to SmackDown for that said reason. At the end of the day, folks. With sorry about that. I did not mean to smack. I did not mean to smack the mic, mind you. I apologize for that. But all this excitement, all this potential freaking excitement, freaking what I was about to say, freaking has led me to do that. So who is off? Not playing. Point being that, as I was about to say before, I accidentally tapped the mic there on my freaking headset, is the fact that I can say is whether or not Cody does it cleanly and well enough, or once again, looping back as we just said earlier on in the show, and the fact that we have some help in the hands of Jimmy and Jay being the ones to actually help Cody at the end of the day get the rub over Roman and finally be the one to finally put Roman's Reigns quite literally out of his misery for good at the end of the day. Hopefully, once again, eyeballing at the likes of SummerSlam 2023 overall as a whole, currently as of this time of recording, obviously enough. So, what's it said, once again, my prediction, after all this rambling, all this mumbo jumbly, heading towards both future wise and actually going on, pros and cons of Lesnar winning and whatnot, Lesnar could, in fact, win this match once again for all that just mumbo jumbo reason. But my prediction, in fact, is going to just say once again true, and more of a safe bet prediction is going to be in the hands of Cody Rhodes win this match. And sadly enough, continuing on the supposed redrawn version of the John Cena narrative that Brock Lesnar and Cena had way back in the day in 2012, apparently back in Extreme Rules 2012. Sadly enough, that is getting a very, very much mirrored comparison, myself included. I really wish that wasn't the case, but that's just, once again, that's the cards that we have dealt here, and we're just going to have to roll with the flow of what we have here for, Backlash. So with that said, overall, once again, for all the mumbo jumbo reason I said before, for Brock Lesnar to win this match, my safe bet prediction is going to be for Cody Rhodes to win this match overall, to say the least, simply enough. So with that said and done, Cody Rhodes for the win for this matchup. And that's about it, guys. This has just about been my Backlash 2023 predictions, obviously enough. Heading out of the show, or heading into the show, mind you, once again, it just seems like this show has been rather a mess, mind you, both built-wise, no matter we're talking both whether in regards of the draft being happening very recently, but and sometimes even before that, the build up for the show has just kind of been lackluster, or just kind of just the very least. But yet again, hopefully enough, heading to the show and heading out of the show, we can finally get some much needed and kind of much more well enough solid logical pushing way of actually exiting out of the show, since heading to the show has been kind of a mess and kind of a stumbling race heading into the show with both with when it comes to the draft and whatnot have you heading to the show, obviously enough. I'm hoping that the show is going to deliver despite these insignificant kind of nitpicks and kind of flaws we have going into the show, with it once again being a mess. Hopefully the show does pull its own way and actually pulls out a surprise that actually gives us a well enough good show on the ropes. I guess you might as well say. But once again, guys, I'm going to stop rambling, and this has been enough. Well enough has been, well enough a long time review. Because obviously, at the time I record this video, I'm looking at my thing. We've been recording this for a solid 38. I mean, no, not 30. Wow, goddamn, 36 minutes, mind you. But before this thing gets edited down, mind you, this raw audio file has been going on nearly 37 minutes, which is about to hit 37 minutes rather relatively soon. So I'm going to cut this short well enough. Once again, saying Backlash going into the show it's kind of a messy, kind of rocky built going into the show. But hopefully, when we get and actually see what's going to come out, what's actually into the show, actually heading out of the show, would actually be well enough worth it at the end of the day, to say the very least. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for watching this kind of sloppily put together prediction video. Hope you all enjoyed for what it was worth, and I shall see you guys next time for my hopefully better put on review for Backlash 2023 overall lineup. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy Backlash, and I'll see you guys next time once again for my review of Backlash 2023. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 73 Team, and I'm signing out. Peace, ladies and gentlemen.